What's going on? It's your counselor, Polly Rob. Welcome to another episode of the Polly Rob Podcast. I appreciate everybody showing love. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. And y'all already know what it is. All the information is at the bottom of how you can support this channel and support me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it. Drake, Iceman. The release date is finally here. Now, let me say this. Months ago when Drake started his Iceman rollout, to be honest, the fans didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it. Those lives that he was doing was kind of crazy. It was a lot of filler, fluff type of content. But now in the recent times, let's get past that content. Let's get past those records that he dropped to test the waters. Let's get past that. Let's get past that. He's now been doing some things that I feel like is worthy of an official rollout. You know what I mean? Like he's doing some things that I feel like is really, really dope. You know me, first things first, when I heard about on Twitter, I heard about the big explosion that he did. But I don't know if he was working on a music video, working on a piece of content, but he had like a crazy big explosion in Toronto. That's how we want your album to be rolled out as a big explosion. I mean, that's what you want. You know what I mean? So we'll see what that content equates to sooner than later, probably after the album drops. But I like that. I like the fact that, it came up to a point where he's really trusting his team. He's trusting whomever's working with him right now, and is really trying to put together something that the people can enjoy. Then, of course, everybody heard about the ice blocks. You know what I'm saying? Drake went ahead and put together like an ice block sculpture in downtown Toronto. That was fire. You know what I mean? Everybody, gravitated toward it. It was a crowd outside, and pretty much the release date was in the blocks of ice. Depending on how long it was going to take to melt, was depending on whether you was going to get the release date. So there were a lot of fans that was out there, and they actually commenced to breaking down the ice. Putting fires on it. There was this one guy who got his hair cut on the ice. There was flamethrowers. There was pickaxes. Everybody was just chipping away at that ice. And, within like a day or two or so, there was this one gentleman who actually found the bag that was in all of the ice, and it showed the release date. And he actually, got that. He pulled up somewhere. I think it was like outside Drake's house or whatever. And the release date is May 15th. That's the scheduled release date is May 15th, which is a couple of weeks away. And, I'm happy for Drake. I'm happy for Drake fans. I'm happy for hip hop fans. I mean, to be honest with you, you can't be a hip hop fan and not like something from Drake's catalog. I'm not saying that you have to be a fan. I'm not saying that you got to be a stan. But he's put together some great music, and regardless of what happened in the battle with Kendrick Lamar and everything, Drake has put together a great catalog of music. So it's only right for his Iceman project to be very, very anticipated. Why not? Kanye's album was anticipated. We got a chance to get so many great albums already. Drake's album is anticipated. Let's see what he got. But I want to talk about 3 things that, in my opinion, are dues. This is what I want to see from the album, and I want to state 3 things that I don't want to see or hear from the album. Can we do that? Y'all? Let's start off with 3 things that I do want to see on this album. Let's start there. And if y'all have any suggestions, put it in the comments, because I always talk in the comments. Put it in the comments. Number 1, I want to hear bangers on this Iceman album. I want to hear bangers. And what I mean by bangers is, if you've listened to Drake's catalog thus far, you know that his bangers are come by way of popular, great records, records that you can play in multiple places. It doesn't have to be a club record, but it does have to feel like a great song. He has songs where he talks about, you know, dope relationships or, great records that are like fusions between different styles. It gotta be a banger. Records like Trophies. It was a banger. You know what I mean? Started from the bottom. I want to hear that. Those type of records. I want to hear bangers. Do you have to relive the records that you've done before? No. But if you come out with a banger, it's a banger. It's what it is. Because Drake music performs best when it's records that you can apply to what you're doing on your daily. Having fun, being motivated, having good energy, reflecting. That's where Drake spends his best moments in music with the fans. Is when he's making bangers. He got 40 by his side again. I don't know what the hiatus was with 40. I don't know if it was medical driven or whatnot, but 40 is back now. So let's make some bangers. Let's go. And this is coming from somebody who liked Drake's music. Am I a Drake stan? Absolutely not. Am I a super Drake fan? No. But I am a fan of his music, and I want to hear bangers. I want to hear bangers. Number two, I would love to hear features from artists that Drake is currently working with now. I'm not saying he hasn't done that. He's always done that. But, a lot of times when Drake comes out with his albums, he usually does features with people that he's working with currently. I don't quite know who those artists are. I don't know if it's Young Thug. I don't know if it's Lil Baby. I don't know. I have no clue. But I would love to see features from them because a lot of the stigma about Drake and a lot of the rumblings about Drake is that he doesn't have a lot of people that he's cool with or a lot of people that he works with and stuff like that. But I want to see a collective effort with those good features. I'm not too with this Iceman project. I'm not too concerned about him doing some unique type of features with somebody we probably haven't seen him do a song with. But I don't think this is the album for that. I think this is the album features wise. Be safe. Pick your people wisely. Work with the people that work with you. You know what I mean? Don't try to go outside the box. And to be honest, I don't even think that he's really talking to a lot of people these days. I think he has a close knit. I would suggest that he should have a close knit amount of people, and just make the music that you make. You know what I mean? Make records with the artists you want to make records with. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll boost the morale of Iceman. I think that'll boost the energy of Iceman, knowing that you have these features and these other people supporting your project just as well as you and your team. I think that's dope. And I would love to hear another Drake and Young Thug record, Drake and Lil Yachty, you know what I mean? I would love to hear that, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think he's patched it up with anybody that he's done music before that he's gotten into a dispute or a spat with. So I'm not even banking on that actually happen. People have been saying that there's been speculation that Future is on the album. I don't think that's true. And if that is the case, I don't think it's a recent record. I think it's a record that's already been cleared or that's already been done, and he has the right to use it. You know what I mean? But I don't think Future's on the album. I think there's still things that has to be mended between them in order for something like that to happen. So I don't think that's realistic. Number three. Now this is something that I feel like he should not do. Please don't do this. Please find the strength and the humbleness to not do this. And you already know what I'm going to say. Do not poke the bear. Again, do not take shots at Kendrick Lamar. Drake, do not take shots at Kendrick Lamar on your album. Don't do it. Let me tell you why. Don't do it. And not to just bring up the old beef or whatnot, because I'm trying not to. I want this to be a celebratory thing for Drake. I want this Iceman album to be celebratory for him. This is hip hop. At the end of the day, this is hip hop. But there's some things you don't do. And taking another shot at K. Dot is one of those things. Don't do it. You're going to ruin the energy of your album. Because nobody is going to listen to nothing else. Once you take a shot at him, everything else is out the window. The bangers is out the window. The features is out the window. Everything is out the window because all the media is going to do, all the fans are going to do, all the people who were anticipating your album, all they're going to do is zoom into you diss them again. And that's going to be the talk of the town. Don't do that to your rollout. Don't do that to your album. Don't do that to everything that you are working for right now. Because the one thing's for sure is that at some point in time, if you take another shot at him, I mean, remember, he said he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. I don't know if you want to do that, man. And this is not, listen, it's not no threat or nothing. I'm just a man covering hip hop, the culture that I love. But I really think that you should focus, even if you're doing your thing lyrically, don't mention him. Don't mention his name. Don't mention nothing that happened before. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I know I skipped the line because I gave you 2 things that he should do, and I gave you 1 thing that he shouldn't do. I'm sorry I skipped the line, but I just had to say it. It was on my heart. I had to say it. So I just gave you 1 thing that you should not do. Don't diss him. Don't diss him. Let me give you the 3rd thing that I feel like you should do. The 3rd thing I feel like you should do. I think that you should make at least 1 reflective record. I think 1 record should be very reflective on what you've been going through emotionally and life-wise over the past 2-3 years. I know that there's a lot of people that you fell out of touch with. There's a lot of business that you have been through, good and bad. Of course, you know, in all due respect, you can talk about the rumblings of the battle without taking a shot. Because, let me explain. Sometimes when you've gone through a lot of things, sometimes it takes a record or 2 to reflect. And this is where Drake is, to be honest, is at his absolute best. When he can reflect on something that he's been through in his life and come and whatever he's doing, coming to terms with it, still battling through it, whatever it is. People want to be let in. I know it might be a hard thing to do, but if you let your fans in, let them into what you've been going through, and not just the surface level. Oh, people just hate me, and that's about it. No. Talk about it all. Talk about the mistakes that you may have made. Talk about the things that you've heard from people that they're not trying to share. Talk about what you've been feeling with your back against the wall. Talk about what does your family go through when you're going through these type of things. Talk about it all, man. You want to make a classic album? a reflective record needs to be a part of it. It needs to be a part of it. This is what hip hop is about. It's about letting things out to the light, good or bad. That's what it's about. I want to hear that from Drake. I want to hear that reflective record. I'll be paying attention closely because I want to hear some dope music, but I also want to hear where your mind and your soul has been for the past 2 or 3 years. I feel like, I'm not saying that you owe it to your fans, because you do have diehard fans. I'm not saying you owe it to your fans, but I am saying that your fans, they're expecting that from you. So why not give it to them? Why not give it to them? Before I get out of here, 2 more things that I feel like, I've given you 3 things. The first 3 things I feel like we want to hear on the albums. We want to hear bangers. We want to hear features from the people that you rock with, from the artists that you rock with. And we want to hear 1 or 2 reflective records where you really, really dig deep. Those are my 3 things. 3 things that I feel like you should not do. I talked about 1. Number 1, do not mention K. Dot and do not diss K. Dot again. Don't start the whole war up again. I'm not saying it'll be in your favor or not. I'm just saying, you seen what happened to the past security guards. You seen what happened to the last security guards. I'm just saying. Number 2, 1 thing that you should not do. In my opinion, you should not overly rap. Do not overly rap. Do not feel like you're in a pocket against people who are critiquing MCs heavily that you got to make a whole album full of rap. Drake as the artist is not just about rap. He's a little bit of everything. It's lyricism, it's hooks, it's cadence, it's flavor, it's relationships, topics, it's concepts. As an artist collectively, you're a little bit of everything. Enjoy that. Enjoy that freedom to do so many elements. Don't just be like, oh, I'm just finna rap everybody head off. We don't want that from you right now. Sorry. Not for the whole album. 1 or 2 records, that's cool. Not for the whole album. Those that know, they know that you are a lyricist. They know that you can rap for sure. They know that. Don't overly try to prove that, because you'll miss out on the elements of you making the bangers that we actually really need you to make. There is a whole, as much as people think that there's a lot of great hip hop that's out right now, but a lot of people are not focusing on hip hop that can be popular or that can be played on the radio, things like that. So that's your lane. That's what you specialize in. Play to what you specialize in. Have some fun. Have some fun. I think it's still a part of you. Have some fun. Don't try to overly super rapidy rap. Don't do that. Don't do it. We don't need that. Not right now. You might end up doing a whole album with Alchemist or a whole album with Conductor Williams or, somebody like that later on. But right now, we just need you to hit the bangers. Hit the red button with all the bangers. And last but not least, before I get out of here, I appreciate y'all showing love. Make sure y'all put in the comments what y'all think Drake should or should not be doing, because, we're going to eventually listen to this album and we're going to go through it. But I want to hear what y'all think should happen beforehand. You know what I mean? Let me know. The last thing I feel like Drake should not do on this album, on this rollout. This is the last thing before I get out of here. And I mean this when I say it. I mean this when I say it. Do not put too many records on this album. Don't make this album a 20-song project. Don't do it. You're giving people more records to critique. And just to be honest, it never really works out in the artist's favor, because if they feel like you got 3 records that they don't like, they're gonna try to find a way to bash you in something light. We need 12, at the most 14. 12 to 14 records for Iceman. I know it's a lot to get off your chest. You are very good at switching the beat, in between different elements. I would love for you to do some of that again. You're good at timing out records. You're good at saying what you want to say within a certain amount of time. Do not overly put records on here. Don't make people feel like you just threw a bunch of records on here and hopefully one sticks. Because you're a way better artist than that, and you've shown that through your track record. 12 to 14 records, that's all we need. You want to throw out extra records here and there later on, that's fine. But 12 to 14 is all we need. More than 12, because of course you want to hit the label threshold of an album, that's fine. But no more than 12 or 14. If you go back to your other albums, aside from, I think, Scorpion, which that was a lot of records, most of your records, when you're in that range, it does very, very great. It does very nice. But that's all you need to give the people. 12 to 14 records, no more than that. Don't make this a 26, 27 song project. Nah, man, because then we feel like you're unsure. Then you might be unsure of the project. That's what people are going to think. You know what I mean? All in all, last thing I'm going to say, Iceman is coming out May 15th. These are my 3 do's and don'ts that I feel like should should be a part of the Drake's album or should not be a part of Drake's album. Overall, hip-hop is still alive. Hip-hop is still going. And that's all we really care about, is to hear some good music, some great music. Hey, man, I need some records for the playlist to play when the girls is around. We need them records. If other artists are unwilling to do that and this is what you do, give us that. Nothing wrong with that. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, about Drake rolling out his album. They say it's May 15th. Hopefully we get it on that date. And let me know what y'all think. We're definitely going to do a reaction video of the whole album. I know I'm probably going to get flagged for it, but I don't care. We're going to do it because this is what we do. This is a hip-hop channel. Let's get it. Y'all already know what it is. Workload.